Welcome to Escape Will Make Me Pod. This week we talk about some amazing gameplay clips. We talk about if you can hide loot in a cat, and then we kind of reminisce a little bit or talk about our experiences with Marathon 1. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Escape Will Make Me Pod, episode 6. I'm Skarrow9, joined as always by my co-hosts here, Ryan and Jake. How are you fellas doing?
Surviving.
Good.
It's been a week, boys. It's been a week.
We
found out Destiny's dying.
Yeah, that's a way to put it.
Good stuff. We've got a lot of marathon stuff to talk about because on the other side of the hall in the Bungie studios, stuff's actually bumping. People, ever since the burnt peanut thing, I have been seeing nothing but like praise for this game pretty much, which is exciting. So I am very curious, like, how does this translate to the game? It doesn't matter. It does matter, but we've talked about it ad nauseum. We have a lot of marketing material to kind of talk about. One thing I'm going to start, or I'm going way out of order here. I don't even care. Because we got the first 4 tracks of the soundtrack today, and they are awesome. This is the first time Bungie has done kind of a staged rollout of their soundtrack OST. For Destiny, usually it just drops like night before or 2 nights before. We got 3 shorter tracks, all about 2 minutes long. One's called We Stole the Moon, which I would like to say we stole a moon.
Let it go.
And then like a super extended long director's cut version of Code Racers, which is sick. So have either of you listened to all the tracks?
I haven't. I was waiting. I guess for me, they're going to be live in like 3 hours, but I haven't gone on YouTube to see if someone's already posted them and stuff yet. So I'm waiting.
We should have gone.
Oh, the YouTube versions instead of the just the Spotify version, or
the Spotify version for me says that it's not going to be available till midnight tonight.
See, if Jake would have used the Cyber Acme VPN, he would have been able to listen to these soundtracks before the episode. So that's why I'd like to thank Cyber Acme for sponsoring this episode. You can use code Skarrow9.000.110.61.6 for 10% off.
We don't have a sponsor this week, my ass, dude.
We got us there. We got there. Everything comes back to Cyrac. I love to see it.
Everything runs on Cyrac.
Anyways, soundtrack, when that whole thing drops, it is going to be electric. It is. I still maintain, like, I don't think people are going to like this, especially Destiny people, but I think Code Racers might be, like, one of the best pieces of Bungie music ever. Like, it's like,
insane.
It's
so good. I
always forget about the second half, and then when it hits, I'm like, just permanent pog. It's so good. It's just a masterpiece. I cannot wait to just lock myself in a completely dark room and just listen to the whole soundtrack. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, it's like the cat bobbing their head meme. Like, is the only thing I ever send to my friends whenever a new thing comes out. I just like pop it into our Discord chat and send that, and that's exactly basically what I'm doing every time a new one comes out. I need to listen to the new stuff. We Stole a Moon is a fucking wild name for a track. I'm curious. The Destiny ones have had like spoilers in the titles before, which doesn't bother me much. But I'm curious if that's part of the stage rollout. Like, do we think that's do you think that's an aspect? Is there a track called Compiler?
Usually, like, there are times where it hasn't happened as much recently, but it used to be the raid soundtracks were held until after the raid. And so maybe I'd be very
Durandal's theme. It's like hidden in there somewhere.
The 4 comes in season 2, track 7.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about this in a bit, but I've been replaying, and Ryan's been replaying the first marathon, 1994 marathon, and the soundtrack is wild in that game. It's just like the most 90s arcade shooter thing I've ever heard in my life. It's awesome, and I hope there are some modern takes on that soundtrack.
Yeah.
I think that'd be sick. So fingers
There
crossed
has
for
to
that.
be. Like when you get on the marathon, there has to be.
Yeah. And if you look at so on Spotify, I think it says that one of the songs is like the 18th track in the first volume, and one of the tracks is like the 9th in the second. So it seems like we're just getting like a ton of tracks for this game, which is like good. Yeah. We also got a lot of it pretty much ever since the burnt peanut thing. They're just like daily. They're like, here's a clip of people having fun. Here's a clip of people dying.
Yeah.
Here's a clip of people having fun. Just like rapid fire. So we got the Death Awaits gameplay trailer. Does someone want to recap this one real quick? Like what happened?
It's just a bunch of shots of like great gameplay stuff, showing off a lot of the abilities. The tick nests are kind of in there, so some of the hazard stuff. You get the triage with the great shot of his gauntlet sending the wires out and damaging someone, also
Yeah.
reviving someone. But yeah, it's basically just a ton of really cool. Also, I there was like towards the end maybe they show kind of the greenhouse POI on Dire Marsh, and there's a shot where someone's shooting down through the like fabric that's covering that center section, and it seems like it gets blown open.
Yeah,
I
it
don't
like
remember-
rips. Yeah,
Did that? I don't remember
Yeah.
that from the April.
that was
alpha.
not a thing in the April alpha. Yeah,
Mm-mm,
there
that's the
there,
full static.
there was not, as far as I can remember, any like destroyable environment stuff other than like normal barrels and glass.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and they've talked about adding other stuff to the world, like the turrets we've seen in some of the gameplay, the little robots, the flowers they've talked about. I don't know if we've seen them yet. And it's I guess they're adding. That's cool. I mean, it makes sense. Like runners are probably pretty heavy, and like yeah, you would tear fabric if you stood on them or shot through them or whatever. And I think also if you're shooting a sheet with bullets, they'll tear. So
Do we think runners are heavier than people?
oh yeah,
Like
right?
on average? I mean, you're the chemist. You would know like what are they made of?
I feel, but I just, yeah, like I have to feel like, especially like, okay, so like Glitch's arm cannon, if you're making
Sure.
that with any plastic, it's melting and blowing apart. That's got to be a metal.
I love
They don't
that
have
you can
like
speak to
heat
this.
resistant polymers or some
No,
shit.
they're-
Like that
Yeah, I
they're
assumed it was a
using
lot of
space.
like alloys and polymers that were.
yeah,
like,
yeah,
lightweight.
but like, so like a carbon bond breaks at about 330 degrees Celsius. And so like, you're gonna like, it's kind of, really, they start to break slowly at 315, but.
Yes,
kinda,
as everyone knows. Yes.
yeah.
yes.
I used to know that in joules, like the amount of energy. It's like 3.54 calories.
That's a
or
word I
joules
haven't
to-
heard in a
to
long
break,
time.
It's one of the, maybe that's the length of a carbon angstrom bond in angstroms. I don't remember. It's been so long, man. This is the sort of stuff they tell you is really important in school, and then you never use it again. It's one of those things. But anyways, yeah, surely runners are heavier. Like surely runners are heavier. Plus, you got all that stuff. Like they're carrying like 20 guns in
I
meds.
mean, Thief for sure is is rolling heavy without Loot Goblin backpack. I've straight up banned Jacob. I banned one of my friends from playing Thief because he's an absolute Loot Goblin in every one of the playtests we play.
Yeah.
He's like, every new Thief gameplay that comes out, I'm like, I'm really would like to try out playing more Thief. And he's like, yeah, me too. And I'm like, no, not you. Absolutely not. No.
We'll talk about it later a little bit, but in the 18-minute game clip, the person was using a Thief visor as like a thermal sight, and I was like,
it was awesome.
That's
I
sick.
pointed that out in I took some notes on that entire thing, and like it's very effective, it seems, for just being able to shoot through some of the fog. One of the things that popped up from the Death Awaits gameplay trailer that I saw a lot of people talking about were being like, there are aliens in the game, which I know that there are marathon adjacent enemies like from the original series that explode. Do we know what ticks are? I kind of assumed they were indigenous to Tau Ceti.
No, ticks are something that comes from Marathon 2, and they're in Lahuan. So I don't think you run in unless we do have the flying, kind of like bird or bee kind of bug-like insect enemies. In terms of exploding enemies, we got the simulacrums, which
Is
I
that
would
what
love
the
to
bobs
see.
are called?
Yeah. And they have a.
I just played
just
those for
said
the
that?
first time today. Yeah, I was like, what is this? Yeah.
They have a good terminal too, where it talks about how like the 4 has a whole division that's like, all right, if they find an alien race and they're not useful for slavery, they can like create replicas of them as bombs and send them out to kill them. It's pretty sick, but
Hell
I
yeah.
don't know if we're gonna see any bobs running around exploding
So
necessarily.
so we know we know the ticks are related to the four, or you're saying that's
I don't
just
think I think
speculation?
these ticks are same name, entirely different. Maybe like
different,
maybe a reference, but they're not really like
Mhm.
anything from the original game in
They
the way
fly
that they
in
work.
Marathon 2, right? Or
Yeah,
do they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they kind of they're like balloons a little bit, and they're not red; they're brown. So I think these are entirely.
just entirely indigenous,
Yeah, I don't
like
see.
named after them from the marathon, like
Could be. I don't
maybe.
know. I definitely remember like a long time ago when they were doing, something like a year ago or whatever. I remember Joku, also a marathon lore YouTuber guy. He had brought the same things. Like, I'm very confused because I know what a tick is from the original marathon. These are not ticks, like, is this a reference or same name? But I don't remember if they ever like directly said that they're referencing that or not. But yeah.
Interesting. I mean, because like we're technically the aliens on Tau Ceti, so like,
Yeah.
but there are birds that are like indigenous that it seems. I guess we don't know if the ticks are some sort of like infestation or plague that we brought with us that have become sentient or running around, or if they're just completely like organic from
Yeah,
Tau
I'm
Ceti itself.
I'm
Like we seem to know nothing about them.
I'm operating under the assumption that most wildlife we see is natural, unless we see like a cow or something, because we know
Or
they froze
bingus.
cows. I want to see a tick cow, a simulacrum. Is that what you call them? What do you call them?
Simulacrum. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to
simulacrum.
see. I want to see one of those as a cow. That'd be sick.
Yeah, we do know that the ticks are their primary use, as far as we know, is for milk. So, tick milk, obviously,
Mhm.
one of the best items
Based.
available. So,
Based.
they do have a purpose.
Yes, I should have
They-
put that in it. Cupcake last week. Fuck.
They show up in some interesting places. This is like maybe only interesting for people who played the April playtest, but like they in the big trailer, the 18-minute perimeter run today, they were like hanging out in North Relay, like on the
Yeah.
buildings, in just like weird new places that they usually, at least in the April playtest, they were pretty much like quarantined to specific areas, like
Different map.
like the data wall on. Well, they were there on perimeter, but
No,
like
quarantine's on Dire Marsh. I mean,
I think he
yes,
was using the word.
yeah, I
quarantine.
know. It was supposed to be
Yes.
funny, boys. Like,
Oh,
come on.
Just edit it.
We're too locked in for that, man. Like,
Ah!
like what are you talking?
There are no
Yeah.
jokes here. There's only
Quarantine,
marathon.
yes,
no
quarantine,
tick
yeah.
jokes. Sorry.
Well, okay, weirdly, like, aren't there not ticks in quarantine in Dire Marsh at all? So, not that I can remember.
Despite
that I
Ryan,
can
there
remember.
will
I
be
don't know
ticks
where
there
there
now.
are or not possible tick spawns. I don't know.
But the point is that like that's the first time, to my knowledge, that we've seen ticks in like North Relay. There are also like turrets and stuff on perimeter and attached to various different rocks and other places that like they definitely were not in the past. So that would make ticks can really bum you out in the middle of a fight. They don't do like that much damage, but they do enough to like sway the fight. So it seems like they're trying to live up to their whole like the world is more dangerous situation that they were talking about a lot.
Good. That keeps it
too.
interesting and dynamic too, especially
Yeah.
if the ticks aren't just spawning in the same locations every game. I think,
Right, like they did
like,
in April.
I think ticks should be treated almost like the flowers and almost like explosive barrels, where it's just like, like in like a Call of Duty game, sometimes there are maps where it's like sometimes there's an explosive barrel, sometimes there's not, and it's like
Right.
I love that idea for a tick nest too. Circling back to the Death Awaits gameplay trailer thing, we got to see Callie again in game next to another dead runner. This time a thief. Is Callie a Death Omen? What's going on here?
It's a I'm probably going to get it wrong. I believe a Hindu god or something. I might be getting the mythology messed up, but there is a Kali that is like a very violent omen of death or something. I've talked about it. I have a video talking about it, but I forget the specifics exactly. But
It is
even like
Hindu.
the depictions of it might be a woman, but the depiction of them are very like violent, insane chaos and destruction and skinning people. Very Arachne coated. Honestly, now that I'm thinking about maybe Bingus is also a Arachne skin
Based.
enjoyer.
Based.
Yeah.
Yeah, but seeing them pop up next, and honestly, I kind of like this idea that they're only popping up next to people who are dead or dying or something like that. And even in the last trailer that we got prior to this one, we saw them in that pre-visualization of the Tau Ceti colony and what it could look like. We saw it earlier on a wall, like being projected in a trailer prior to this. And Kali is there with like living colonists, but even those, that's representing colonists who are dead or no longer here. So it's like maybe it is, she's operating in this capacity as an omen of death. She's around
Is
dead
Kali
runners.
real?
It might be like a digital space. I don't know. I have some crazy theories about that. I'm not necessarily convinced that anything's real, I think, but
You've kind of talked about, I think it's you, it might be Ryan, but I think you've talked about how you think the anomaly is kind of like a hive mind. What
Mhm.
if runners have some of that? And Kali's just like, she's like a little figment going around.
Right?
Like a glitch in this. I mean, that would be very Matrix.
Yeah.
The cat in the Matrix is a glitch is literally a glitch in the system that they see reverse. So like that would feel very referential on something that would be very surprising was not pretty influential on Marathon as a whole. So
yeah, I'm wondering how they handle it, because I feel like Kali is such a fan favorite that they almost have to be careful with how they, like what the final implementation is, because you don't want it to feel wasted, right? It's a very powerful, people just latched onto it. So
I saw some people saying like maybe like I think it'll probably be something more along the lines of like what you guys are talking about, where it's like, oh, maybe it's kind of reference like Follow the White Rabbit, get Marathon level in the original trilogy named Curiouser and Curiouser. Like White Rabbit was one of those original runners in the announced trailer. Like maybe they're just kind of playing with this idea of them of Kali like indicating something, and maybe you're following them or they lead you to clues or something.
The thief skin in the new trailer is called White Rabbit.
I saw that, and there's a white rabbit like on her leg, right?
Yeah.
I saw some people talking like, well, what if there actually is, aside from her butthole being a safe pocket, what if there is like a gameplay mechanic to it? There are
not
some
letting you put
games.
loot in the cat, bro.
I saw a lot of people in your comment section from this very podcast suggesting that you put loot in the cat, and that the cat is the safe pocket.
Guys,
get
real.
No, but maybe there is a gameplay component. Like maybe Kali is like surrounding dead runners. Maybe if you find them again, you can get a piece of loot back or something. If you died in a location, I don't know. It would be cool to see it introduced in a way.
If you went down, you had like maybe a little chance for Kali to come like maybe slow out your bleed out time or res you or whatever. Like, I don't know. I like the idea of like having to follow her though. I think that would be fun.
Yeah.
I feel like at this point I'd be kind of surprised if there wasn't a contract that was kind of about following Kali, and I would also be kind of surprised if she didn't lead you like to dead body of runners that are like obviously placed there for the contract if someone's on the contract, but like I think at some point that feels very natural.
That could be a cool mechanic for Rooks, where like occasionally you see Kali and it's like, oh, there's a dead body in that direction. Go scavenge. That could be fun. I like that. That's really cool. Speaking of Rooks, next gameplay clip we got was awesome. It was of our friend Drewski. I don't think Taco was in that. Taco Tim was in that one, but it was
Drewski and Rowan.
Yeah, Rowan. That's right. Yeah, I knew it was someone else in that group. And they teamed up with like 2 or 3 Rooks. Yeah. And they were just like, they were looting the pinwheel in Outpost, which is one of the most dangerous areas allegedly in the game, I've heard. And they killed a ton of enemies, and then they killed a team. And it was like a really sick sequence of them like protecting these Rooks and giving them self-reses and making sure they added health. They all, in this clip, you can see Triage when he puts out a squish, one of the med drones, someone else can come up and steal it, which is sick. That's so cool. So you're able to help people like Rooks as well, which I just think is so cool. So cool. So I saw a lot of great reactions to this clip where people were like, oh yeah, the game looks so good like this. So
that clip was huge. I think like they also did a very nice job of they annotate a bunch of stuff that's happening. Like they're like little tips that pop up. Like that's such a smart idea. That's like I mean, they could have done like voiceover for it, which I think would have been fine. But I think it's better to hear the players and just have the little notes about like um, the claymores and about the hacking of the med drones and things like that. Like
Yeah.
I, I
The
mean, once
collapsible
again,
contracts, which everyone that doesn't know
oh
about
my god,
Marathon it bitches about, and it's like you can actually fix that.
yeah, all the UI, all the UI complaints. It's like the UI doesn't look like that like 90% of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like it. I mean, their whole marketing team has been killing it, but like stuff like that is huge in terms of just the value of it. Um, I'm skeptical at how friendly Marathon will be in terms of the whole Rook to player alliance thing, but I think them showing off that it's possible. I think is really smart on their end.
Yeah.
They're definitely they're implanting the idea into people's heads that like, hey, there is a social sandbox of sorts here, and you're going to be able to interact with the game in a lot of different ways. Yeah, the number of people that actually engage with it that way, I don't know, but I think
Yeah.
just the idea of showing it off in this capacity, especially for a lot of people who are maybe just consuming like the marketing materials or casually seeing things, they're probably going to enter the game with that mindset. Maybe it will be more common than like a lot of people would expect if they've been following the game for like a longer amount of time.
Yeah. I like that they're picking clips where people are LARPing really hard as Rook. Because I
Yeah.
think if you do that, you're more likely like I'll LARP as Rook. I don't care. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I think that could make it really fun. Like it's so important that these sort of like not necessarily viral marketing things, but like these community high points, like they need to feel very natural. And I think they're doing a good job of like planting little seeds here or there for the community then to take and run with. And I don't know. Yeah, the marketing team ever since the Vidoc came out, the runner Vidoc, no, the one before that, the second main Vidoc in December or whatever.
Yeah, when
Just
they
as
got
like,
unleashed, basically.
yeah, everything has just been like,
It's
just
like
it's
clockwork. It feels like you can like depend on it
yeah,
in a way that like has been like weirdly absent for Destiny over the past several months.
I mean, you
Where
can make the argument several years, really.
yeah, I mean, but like Destiny was to some degree pretty dependable in terms of like when you can expect comms outside of like small windows that have been rough. But like
Yeah,
this has been a pretty stark. This particular moment has been a pretty stark contrast of like all of the marathon stuff happening like at noon with a new clip and then maybe sometimes an extra clip versus like people wondering where news that we all know is coming is for weeks and weeks and weeks. Like it's an interesting dichotomy.
it's bad. It's a frustrating one for Destiny fans, but it is what it is. You know, I think at this point in time, we celebrate the good of Marathon, and hopefully
Yeah.
the higher ups or Sony or the Bungie marketing team, like I don't whoever's making that decision is like, oh, what's going on over there? Oh, it's working really well. Maybe we should try that. And like,
Yeah, we don't. I mean, like we don't need to get into it. I think Destiny will come around eventually. It's just going to be rough for a little bit until then. But like, I'm, I think I'm glad I have Marathon to care about instead because it makes it a lot easier for me to be like, I can wait for more
yeah,
Destiny stuff. I can wait, no problem. I'm not really eager to jump back in with anything
yeah.
right now, so I'm much more excited to dive into this.
I struggle with that because it's like
Yeah.
Destiny's such a huge part of, especially us too, Ryan. But it's like this isn't a Destiny podcast, and it's like they don't need to hear that. You know what I mean? But it's
No.
also it's like, you know, it's fine.
It's-
Marathon, yes, Martin.
It's hard. Something becomes a part of your life for
A
10
decade.
years
Yeah,
plus, and it's like it's hard to. I mean, I'm not going to doom hard enough to say let it go, but it's hard to shift into a different mode. I mean, like I think this is here. I'll make it relevant to Marathon. Something that I see people complain about all the time is to people to be like, "Oh, I saw one post on the subreddit that was very the opposite of this, which I think is good. But I think oftentimes see people talk being like, "Oh, well, I don't trust this game because it's run by Bungie or whatever, and they fucked up Destiny, so they're gonna fuck up Marathon." And like I understand, like we've been talked in the past about how like Bungie's had some pretty critical unforced errors over the years, and I very much hope that they avoid doing some of those for Marathon. But like, they kept the series going for 12 years straight. Not a lot of devs out there like have kept basically one game
Yeah.
outside of the 3 years of D1 going for that long.
I mean,
Very
not
rare.
only that, right? Like being incredibly profitable,
Very
like
profitable.
consistently top, Steam selling charts and
For 5
really
years, 2019 to 2024,
and
platinum bestseller.
even the population that you can check using sites that are more accurate than Steam charts, the population at the most dire of Destiny times are a population that certain games would kill to have, right? Like it's like, yeah, there's been unfortunate stuff, and we have everyone. I just said this isn't a Destiny podcast. Okay, long story short, we're in it. A lot of us have been in this like emotional roller coaster with Destiny. If Marathon makes it 10 years and it has even half the sort of impact that Destiny has had culturally, or like to the as wide of a group of people as Destiny had, that is like a success that 99% of studios will never even hope to achieve. Right?
We should be so lucky as to have something like that. Like, that's the thing that I come back to on it is it like Bungie, for all of their faults, have managed to keep this community largely, and again, like up until literally not last year, but the year before, like 300,000 plus people on Steam alone every year, like 8 years after the game's launch. Like that, whether mistakes or not, the support is like saying that you don't trust Bungie to follow through on Marathon if they're given the the leash to do it from Sony is like pretty silly to me, just in terms of like there are just, if you were to look from the outside, if you're not super plugged into all the different dramas and the mistakes that they've made and the unforced errors and the repeated like cycle of things are going well, so we're gonna not talk as much to oops, things aren't going well, so now we're gonna talk a whole bunch and everyone's gonna be happy. If you're just like divorced from that and looking from the outside looking in, it's hard to pick a studio that you would be more interested in following a live game from, just in terms of their history. So like, I think it is relevant. I think it's relevant to talk about this. It's relevant to talk about the previous projects. That sounds dire. That sounds more dire than I mean it. The previous projects from the developer of Marathon. I think that's
the previous and future projects.
Yeah, I mean that's how I choose to believe it. I choose to believe that we will see a Destiny 3 one day that will be Bungie led. But the point is, like, I think Bungie has proven at the very least that that the team is good at sticking to one project for a long period of time. People who are mad that Destiny is coming to like slow down, I get it. I also am sad about it. You and I have spent unreal amounts of our life covering the game and also just playing it for funsies. But like 10 years is a long time, brother. Like, it's a long time to be like bitter that you didn't get more time.
Yeah, we're whole ass different people than when we started, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I did not know my wife, who I now have a child in a house with, when I started playing Destiny 2 even.
Yeah.
So like things change. But
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right.
Destiny, right?
But we're done with that's it. That's the Destiny.
No more Destiny. That's
the Destiny minute. Okay.
Destiny 20.
You guys were talking about Destiny the game. Okay, my bad.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We also, we've already alluded to it a couple times, but we got this like 20-minute clip of a full run on perimeter, and they just picked like people who are like juiced and really good at the game. And they were just like, we're just going to watch them destroy a whole lobby real quick, and that's fine. Yeah. And it was...
it's sick, though.
Yeah, it was sick. It had everything. They did the map event. They wiped multiple teams. There were a lot of, like, UESC engagements. They helped the Rook. It was just like, it was showcasing abilities. Those people... I don't
shotgun.
know. Yeah. Oh, jeez.
The grapple roof shotgun was like...
It was so super good. That ends up, they just did great. There were like little gameplay. I think we've talked about this before. I don't think people truly have a grasp on how important like the build crafting is going to be in this game, or how high the skill ceiling is in this game. I think this clip does a really great example or like job of showing it, like running around one knifing UESC robots. That's going to save you so much time and health and mats. And using the visor as a thermal scope and using advanced movement and scouting out a key room before your friend with Thief before your friends get in there, so you know exactly where to go first to get the best loot based.
Something I noticed about that was interesting. I need to go back. I thought I went back and checked it, but the rarities on the chests don't show through the door.
Yeah, it wasn't until they unlocked
open the door
and
then they all light up.
Yeah.
But interestingly, you cannot peek inside of a locked room to be like, are there golds in there? So should I save my key for another run? Which is clever. It's interesting.
That's why they would have done that. That's unfortunate, but it's so smart. Actually, that's good game dev. But
yeah,
dang.
You gotta like people are gonna look inside and go, no golds, go next.
Yeah,
and save their key every time, 100%.
Dang, yeah, for sure. Yeah,
I know that like the player that we're watching is obviously godly and like, purple, gold shields. But do you guys get the feeling? Do you guys get the feeling watching this that Thief is just like clearly the best runner? Like in terms of movement tech with the grappling hook, the visor, you're getting like visual acquisition, the reconnaissance with the drone. Am I like crazy to think like, dude, Thief is gnarly. Like Thief might be like overwhelmingly good.
Definitely up there. I still maintain like that grappling hook is it's one movement advantage like every 40 seconds. And that's like, okay. I'm going to sound like a broken record here, but I think the double jump and increased movement of glitch, of Vandal is, I know, right? That's a permanent, like that's her passive, right? And so especially if you're later in the season, you have vendor upgrades or you have a good build or you're cardio kicked or whatever, that is just like that has so much more uptime on your mid combat.
That's a good point.
I do think Thief is going to be top 3 so unbelievably easily. It's not even funny though.
I would point out that like it's good to see a super aggressive Thief because I think like her kit is built for more passive play. So it's good to see that you get like that the runners are pretty versatile in terms of your play style, and you can just play a runner that you like and you can make them work to your benefit. But like I think it's worth noting that when you consider how strong she is, they were getting in a lot of scrapes in combat and they were moving a lot, and so they didn't use the drone until they were extracting at all. So like that's just basically for the entire, where you think about like someone like Blackbird, you're popping ult almost on cooldown, whereas like Thief, that entire run it was basically a dead ult the entire time, and they didn't even need to use it at the end. They didn't really get anything out of it. So that's kind of like the back and forth or something. Good design. What?
They got tick milk or something. They stole something from the bot.
They stole something from a bot at the very end. They were like whipping the shit out of it through the window. But like, so from that perspective, it's like it depends on the pace of the match. I think like in a highly aggressive match, like obviously the ability to zoom around if you're like goated and can get you extremely sick shotgun kills, but you're not going to really be able to use your big ability at all. So I don't know. It's like I think the runners are well balanced in terms of that kind of thing. There's not a lot of like this single runner is so stacked that they're great in every single situation. Like, you get the mobility, but mobility doesn't really vibe with hanging out and waiting for your drone to come back to you.
Yeah.
Did you guys in that part where they find the Rook like in that valley right there, I'm forgetting on the name of the POI.
It's called Pillars. Is the name
Pillars?
of the
Okay.
Is the
It's
name
right
of
where the Rook was.
Yeah,
the building. Then Overflow is the actual
Overflow.
like big POI, but there's like many POIs and that's called Pillars.
Okay, when they're doing that and they're doing the call outs, is it confirmed that the Rook can hear those as well? Or was that just going to the teammates like, let's be friendly, let's be friendly? Or was the Rook hearing, like, Arc Raider style, like, hey, Raider, don't shoot, don't shoot? Like, do we have confirmation in terms of like how that actually works in game?
My chat seemed super, because I had the same question because I genuinely
Uh-huh.
didn't know, and my chat seemed very convinced that they could actually see that.
I think the Rook
Okay.
could hear it.
Yeah,
It seemed like the Rook could hear it.
Yeah. It was pretty funny. The Rook was just completely oblivious, and they're like shooting around the Rook for like 5
Yeah.
seconds, and the Rook's like.
That's the biggest tell to me, is that I think the Rook did not respond, which is why I think the thief is shooting at the Rook to be like, hello, are you also
Yeah.
friendly? Respond, or I'm going to shoot you in the back.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I
yeah.
think that's what's happening, is that they're trying to get them to respond. So I don't know why else you would be shooting at them if they couldn't, or you'd be spamming it if they couldn't do it. Their teammates
Yeah.
weren't that far behind. Their teammates should have been able to see Rook at that point. So I don't think it makes sense any other way.
And there's so much loot left on that map. Like every time they were opening,
my
like just
God.
leaving purple guns, and they were leaving self-reses. I was just like, oh my God. Like later in the season, I think it's gonna be so easy to be a Rook. I like.
Oh, that's what I was. I wrote that down. I was like, this is a smorgasbord for all the Rook players in this map right now. They're leaving so much shit on the ground.
And that's good. Like
Yes.
I think we've been pretty. I think all of us agree that, and it's hard to confirm because we don't know the final balance of the game, and none of us have played since April. But it
Yes.
it seems like this game is going to get you kitted faster than like your average extraction shooter, and I think that this is very telling of that. So that's cool. I like that. I think that's very good.
If that Rook stopped by Hauler at any point, like they would have walked out with a better loadout than like 90% of the loadouts I dropped with after like 40 hours in the playtest.
Yeah.
Like if they just had to stop by Hauler at some point and loot the like 4 bags that were there, and they would have gotten incredible stuff. So
yeah,
a good run can make you godly.
I just noticed this note. I didn't notice this. So there's a bloodthirsty weapon effect, which is like one of the texts behind it. We know materialist, and there was one that used to be called antique, and I think it's called something else now.
Was there one? There was one that was fragile as well, right? Or was that what it was changed to?
Fragile is like when you down, it breaks.
Yeah.
And the other version of that was they wanted gold loot to only switch hands a certain number of times before it broke. So you didn't like inflate the pool. So I don't know if that's still a thing. That was a thing in April. I didn't notice bloodthirsty though. Increases this weapon's value every time you down a player, but resets it when you're downed. That's cool. I like that a lot. There are more things like this that are out there that are known. I don't think we should discuss them because I think they are technically NDA breaches. Like I feel like they got this information through playtests.
I'm looking Marathon Codec, which runs the
other one that I know of
tweeted about it
in April though was if you extracted with the weapon, right? Was that antique maybe?
That was
antique.
antique.
Like it would gain value. Okay.
Yeah,
okay,
it was like you could extract with it like 5 times and it would increase in value every time. But yeah. I think it has a new, in one of the Vidocs or something, there was another phrase that pretty much means the same thing, and I'd be surprised if they were different. But maybe they are.
Okay.
I don't remember.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So there are. So from what I can tell, Marathon Codec is only putting stuff up that's not from the leaks, but it's from the playtests, or that's from like the combing through stuff like the stream.
Yep.
To put some of this stuff up there.
So I forgot about the stream. Yeah.
Yeah, so the stream and all the different things, they've been combing through all that stuff and putting stuff up there. So shout out to the Marathon Wiki. Not a huge fandom fan, but the wiki here is good work. Bloodthirsty, there's Materialist, and then Materialist Plus, which is upon exfil grants additional standard and enhanced salvage. Which I don't know. Do we know what that means?
Enhanced salvage? Is that
deluxe or superior salvage?
Superior's purple. It's just like it's just like upgrade materials, I think.
Okay, yeah. So like you could just get like some of those upgrade materials were really obnoxious to come by in April. So that's like huge. There's enduring, which is upon exfil, this item's value will be increased. So that's new vintage from the new name for vintage from April. That's how vintage worked.
Wait, what's it called now?
Enduring.
Enduring, yes. I was saying antique, but I meant vintage.
And then there's compromised, which is destroyed on exfil, exfiltrate with a matter fixative to stabilize, which is fascinating.
Oh, okay.
So you have to like find, it looks like there's a gold item that you have to have in your inventory, or else the thing that you were extracting with will just disintegrate when you get exfilled, which is wild. There was nothing like that the last time that we played, or in the April playtest.
Yeah, no. Well, there was only like 2 of these in the April, maybe 3 in the April playtest. So
Yeah, that's wild. I mean,
It's cool. It's cool that they're adding all these iterations that
yeah,
one, it gives you something to learn and remember, but also it changes your playstyle run to run, because obviously now if you're going to take this gun, you have a side objective of finding one of these matter fixatives and stuff like that. It's cool. It's cool to just add a little bit of complexity, especially changing like round to round like that as you find items.
yeah. They also showed a new profit opportunity. There's only the one profit opportunity in the April playtest, which is where you go to like the different terminals and you
the
punch in the buttons.
screens.
Yeah, you punch in the screens, and then it's like, oh, a chest is gonna drop at North Relay. You better get your ass over there from Hauler, right quick before it drops. Now they had one that was a coordinated data pad, where you pick up a data pad in one POI, and then it sent them to overflow. Picked up in Hauler, send them to overflow, and then they picked up the new one in overflow, a secondary one, and then it pointed them to like a place in the middle of the map where they went, and like a beacon like unstealthed, and then started spawning backpacks everywhere around it.
Yeah.
Which is like a new way to just get a bunch of loot.
Which is cool. I think the more of those kind of random events, the better. That was one of the pieces of feedback that we really hammered on after the alpha. It was like every match, you could open the map, you knew exactly what spawned, and pretty much the same stuff spawned every match. And it was like, you just need like, these need to feel like public events in Destiny. Just like random shit. And there need to be some that are super rare that you're excited when they spawn, and there needs to be some that are more common and stuff like that. So I like that they're just adding so many layers on things. I think that's great. So
yeah. But before we move off of the gameplay, what's the deal with Thief? Why do we think Thief is not in the playtest? Why?
I told you last time. I think she's gooner bait, bro. I think she's gooner bait. And they're like, if you want a goon, you gotta pay up, buddies. Subscribe to Bungie's OnlyFans, which is actually a marathon pre-order if you want a goon to Thief, okay?
Ah, that's the title for the episode. Subscribe to Bungie's OnlyFans. There we go. We got it.
Yep. Gonna write that down.
That's pretty good.
Yes. I agree with Skarrow. I think it's masturbatory. Obviously. Clearly, that's what they're doing. Paywall the feet, boys. Close up shop, boys. We figured it out. No, the only thing that makes sense to me is like they're like, you're gonna get a little bit of taste, but if you really want to play the cool one, the one that we sold the little figure of, and you can zip around it, over here, like you got to get the full thing. I don't know, nothing else makes sense to me. I would think you want to show people like this shit's rad, but
yeah, nothing makes sense. Like the whole, like everything I try to think about why they could be holding her back, it just like doesn't. I don't think the whole like, oh, we're gonna keep one back just for like marketing is that really how people think about the runners in this game? Like, is that they're like, I wasn't gonna buy it, but I really want to play Thief. Like, who's doing that? Like, is that a person? Maybe.
Goons. Gooners, not goons. Gooners.
That's the only one that I've heard. That's the only compelling answer.
I'm realizing now with Skarrow's explanation, which obviously is correct. I'm very curious to see, I guess, what kind of contracts we're going to get out of Sakaguchi, which also isn't included. So, Skarrow, does this indicate that the worm is also gooner bait? Is that the concept?
I would just like to point out there were 2 main things that came with the collector's edition: the Thief and the worm, the 2 most goonable things in the game. Both not in the playtest. You're welcome.
You're saying this is goonable? This is you're saying goonable.
I'm saying it's not. Maybe it's not my cup of tea.
The worm was always gooner bait, dude. That's not a take.
I think we're learning about your cup of tea right now.
I just, what did I just
appreciate
say? I don't kink shame here, okay?
it.
I think we're
This is a
typing too
family
old to even
podcast,
say
gentlemen.
Gooner,
This is
so-
a family
It is?
podcast. This game is
Shit.
teen for teen. We welcome all of the 10-year-olds that play Arc Raiders. If you want to talk about Marathon, we welcome you here, okay? You think
Damn,
people are
I
going
think
to
I
be
already,
mad?
I think I already used our one fuck for the show then.
Wait, you just did it again.
Now we can't go
Well,
on
now
cable.
we're-
Wait,
Now we can't go on cable.
wait. Yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know. It might come down to they needed this build finalized like a month ago and Thief wasn't ready.
That's the only thing I could think about it is like, but then that must mean like that Burnt Peanut is playing on a different build than the one that we're going to be.
Oh,
playing
I'm
on.
sure he
It's like,
is. I'm sure
maybe, I
they
mean-
have. I bet he's playing on like a private
Yeah?
dev build for sure.
You think
Yeah.
he's playing on the private dev? I mean, like I assumed there were. I mean, I assumed there would be parity between them, but maybe not. I mean, I guess they probably want to hold certain. I would not be surprised if they're holding certain weapons and other things back that might have like lore implications in them if they were to be
Yeah.
found. So then, yeah, maybe it is a build specific thing. Maybe they couldn't. They're running into like a specific issues with her or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
The whole thing is like it doesn't. There has to be a reason because it doesn't. As just a marketing tactic, that doesn't vibe with me at all.
Yeah, I think it's probably a tech thing. Speaking of this, Jake, am I crazy? I don't think I imagined this. In the ARG, there was a terminal, and you could see ASCII art of all the guns.
Yes.
There
Yep.
was a rocket in there, right? A rocket launcher?
Interesting.
I do not think so. I do not remember a rocket launcher. I remember people talking about like, they want to bring back the old weapons, obviously, and that was a relevant point of conversation, with a lot of those weapons. But I do not recall a rocket launcher personally. I could be wrong about
sure.
that.
Isn't there? There's a famous. Wait. I swear. I don't know. Whatever. Sorry, I'm doing googly things. I probably shouldn't.
I'm sorry, I'm doing Gooner shit, is what I heard.
Yes, I'm doing gooner shit.
He's got his worm out. Leave him be.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
Okay. So the
Family
UES
podcast.
the UESC Rage terminal had it had the Burt SMG, the Bully SMG, the CE tactical sidearm, the Conquest LMG hardline, precision launch shot, M77 Magnum overrun repeater, twin tap, the Zeus railgun, the V11 punch volt thrower, the V95 lookout, and the Waster combat shotgun. So no rocket launcher. I feel like that'd be pretty difficult to bounce. I know Tarkov does have like a grenade launcher now, maybe,
Yeah.
or something. Obviously, they're going for a much different thing, but I don't know. If they added a rocket launcher and they had movement tech attached to it, like in the originals, where when you shoot the rocket, you go blasting backward. Maybe it'd be worth it, but
Yeah.
seems hard to balance.
Let's talk about that. I'm gonna skip. Okay, wait, real quick. Okay, I was gonna transition to Marathon 1, but real quick. New audio log. Jake, give us the lore nerd version of this.
It's Dr. Valentin Cole. He's applying to be a part of the cryo class crew members. So the people who were put on board the Marathon, but they were so important that they're going to be put into the cryo, put into stasis and pulled back out when they actually arrive on Tau Ceti. He's saying, I think the word I wrote here, right, is hubris maxing. I feel like every character in Marathon is maximizing hubris. He's like calling himself, I want to be the first genius to die by invasive extraterrestrial plasma. Geniuses who want to fucking die in space, fucking AI who want to become gods. Everybody is just getting a little too big for their britches. Very cool stuff. I think it's going to really fill out a lot of the narrative stuff in the game, and I can't wait to sit there and read the codex for hours on end, just losing my mind like a crazy person.
Who
Find
is
out
the
how
most?
he died?
That's a good
Inevitably.
How he died?
We'll find out how he
Oh,
died.
Yeah, kind of like how in the April Alpha we found out Dr. Son had been consumed by the fungi. We found her outside the data wall.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
Do you-
There's a lot of cool stuff.
No, you're good. Well, I had two questions. The second one's more pertinent, so I'll ask that one first. In the Roberto short, there was the person on the bridge that kind of exploded. The boiling blood virus. Is that what we think that is?
On the you're talking about, so not the one that throws up into his helmet.
In the field, the one that kind of like.
unravels.
So the one in the field breathes in the spores or the contagion and has a reaction to that. That's why he throws up. And we got
Okay.
that in the not the latest gameplay trailer, the one before that. We saw another version of that where someone's throwing up in their helmet. The contagion and the anomaly are connected, but the one that you're thinking about where his head blooms into the purple craziness,
Yeah.
I think that's the anomaly appearing in this place that he was and extracting his brain goo. And also in the April alpha, we got an audio log off a guy who was right next to the anomaly, like connected to it, and his head was also doing the same, tentacles, octodad kind of thing.
I don't remember that at all. What the hell? That
Yeah.
was in the alpha?
Yeah, and it even his log is like repeating on top of itself. Like the recording is not like canonical. Like it was impacting his perception of time while he was experiencing this absorption into the anomaly.
I don't
Yeah.
remember that at all.
It's like it was like one of the last contracts you could get in the alpha.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
one of the
I
Traxxas
didn't do
priority
contracts in the
contracts.
alpha. I was too busy dunking on people. That's my bad.
Yeah. It's like the one of the that's one of the ones that you investigate, like the various different parts of the anomaly.
Well, you nerds were reading. I was getting babes
You're
and killing
studying
people.
the blade.
I was
am
gooning.
I the most modest person in the marathon universe? Why yes, I am.
You're hubris maxing. It's good. It's good. We love to see
I like to say I'm hubris minning, actually, but that's all right. All right, we've both been playing Marathon 1. I literally just got to the Escape Will Make Me God terminal.
Nice.
So, which is
Nice.
at the end of the colony ship for sale, I think.
Yeah, you're ahead of me, I think.
So, I have to say, 2 big moments for me. Colony ship for sale, way easier than people made it seem, but that's because someone taught me grenade jumping tech in level like 3. So,
Okay.
you give a gamer tech, he's gonna use tech. So I use tech.
Movement kids.
I solved it like 98%. The last one was just a little too low, so I just jumped it. Whatever. People were hyping the shit out of 4D sunbathing or whatever. I did that in like 9 minutes.
Jeez.
It was not hard at all. I was like, I guess I'll go in a circle, and then I did, and it worked, and it was fine. And people were like, I was stuck here for 4 hours. It's like, were you playing with your monitor off? What's happening? Like,
I get how people get turned around. One
Honestly.
interesting thing that I learned from Aperture Grill's marathon speedrunner is that for all, like, I guess the tech at the time for how they put the objectives in, you only ever have to accomplish one of the tasks. So even if there's like multiple things you have to interact with, if you get one, it counts for all of them. So ever since then, I do feel like the levels where you're having to, hit the button on multiple terminals or go and grab multiple chips, they do become a little bit easier when you realize, like, okay, if you have one, you're good to rock your way through.
oh, interesting. I actually didn't know that. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think overall. So, how many times have you played these games, Jake? Do you know them? Like, how far would you say I am if I just finished Colony Ship for Sale?
I mean, I can tell you exactly. You're what, like halfway through, I would say.
That's half. Okay.
You're on level 13 and there's 26.
Oh,
So you're exactly halfway through. Yeah.
But
But the best section of the game is like the very next, right? The very next chapter is the 4. That's my favorite section of Marathon 1. And it's fantastic. Such a great change of pace, such like a cool in changing your environment in a way that you don't really expect, even when you're going through and seeing the weirder parts of the marathon ship. Like, why the fuck do we got so much lava around? Why are elevators in lava?
I might be a couple levels past then because I just did lava level.
Yeah, you'll see lava on the marathon ship, but then the 4
what's the level
really
after Colony Ship called?
cool. Habe Quidem.
Yes, I just beat that one. That's the one I just beat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Well, we can have a discussion about this, but just like my overall thoughts. I'm enjoying it. I haven't played many games from before I was born. That especially, I don't know if I've probably played like 5 non-Nintendo games since before I was born. Like not really my avenue of gaming. I really like having to interact on every fucking random wall. That's really fun. I like that they hide secret rooms inside of secret rooms. And I love when those secondary secret rooms are still nothing. It's just like an extra piece of ammo or something. That's cool. People are crazy for having found every terminal.
Yeah.
The left guys, like I don't know like what is part of the original marathon and what's not, but being able to get rid of that awful HUD and play full screen and then being able to overlay the map on top of the game. Whoever
Yeah.
did that, whether that's OG Bungie or the left guys, awesome, phenomenal.
Shout out Tree Llama on Patreon, one of the Aleph one, like I'd say probably the primary Aleph one dev at this point.
There you
But
go.
yeah, tons of quality of life stuff has been added, and it is preserved like in a way that's very consistent with the original game. But yeah, adding some stuff in that was kind of like
Yeah.
definitely needed, right, to make it a little more easy for a slightly more modern audience.
Yeah. And then a couple more things. If you know you have the option and still willingly play with the auto centering reticle on, you're a psychopath. And I have now defaulted to killing every mob I see because they are incredibly annoying. That took me all of 10 minutes. So yep.
You got the terminal. You didn't save enough people. You let way too many bobs die. What is that? The rose? Is that level?
And then the very next level, at the end of it, she's like, using more information we extracted from the people you saved. It's like, you just told me off like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, it doesn't change anything except that final terminal.
It's like, what the heck? Yeah. Anyways, Ryan, how are you enjoying it?
I started last year between my trip to Bungie and the alpha coming out, and played a whole bunch of it, and hadn't played it really for a while. And I basically just played Cold Storage today to like jump back into it when I knew we were going to be talking a little bit about it. And like, the game's good. It's very confusing and it's frustrating. I frustrated myself multiple times in Cold Storage because I didn't save and got squished on the ceiling because I was trying to reach a jumping spot, or because I was like, oh, okay, I'm at the end of the level now. I'm gonna go take a nap or whatever, and then squish myself and had to redo basically everything all over again.
When you finish a
Which is
level
my fault.
and you get to the next level and then you die and it puts you back in the previous level, it's just like,
That's happened to me at least once.
What are we doing here?
Yeah,
dude?
it's
Very frustrating.
What a absolute motherfucker. Yeah, the people who are like hunting down every single terminal, like that's wild to me. I think I found like one terminal in the in Cold Storage itself and was out. I think like it's crazy how cool some of the effects in that game still are. Like the static effect every time you shoot. I cannot wait to see how they translate compilers to Marathon 2026, because like they have the most style of any of the enemies that I've encountered so far. Like I just encountered the completely stealth ones, which are not super fun. But like the whole static, like TV static thing every time you shoot them is so cool. Like I can't imagine how cool that was in 1994, the year I was born, when that was happening. But yeah, I just got like the Zeus and everything, so I'm behind, and I'm definitely like, I feel like I need to read a wiki to read all the terminals that I missed every time I finish a level. But I'm just happy to be like getting through it at this point. I think it's a great game. It's also like I haven't played a lot of corridor shooters. That's like a PC corridor shooters is not a genre that I've had a lot of experience in, even as I've like gone back and played old games and like old games for the most part. So that's like an adjustment period, but it's neat. I also think people who don't think that the style of that game translates at all to 2026 aren't paying attention. I feel like they're doing a lot of work actually to translate like what something like that would look like with extremely modern graphics. I think
the punching animations are the same. I noticed that.
Which is really cool.
That it's really
people were shouting that out earlier too.
The guns transferring over are really cool. People noticed. Jake, did we mention? I don't think we mentioned this last week. People noticed in the burnt peanut gameplay that there are OG terminals on the map.
I did see that. I can't tell. It was difficult in that shot, and I think there was another shot in that 4-minute or whatever piece that they had put out after that the burnt peanut stream. There's another shot of it, and I cannot tell if it's like sprite, like if it's flat against the wall, or if it's a 3D model. So I'm very curious to see in game, how they actually look.
Yeah, because it was in the cutscene too. There's one in the background of a cutscene, but then it seems like there's one actually in perimeter somewhere.
Yeah, they saw a couple in Outpost. So Pretty
Outpost.
pretty,
Sorry, that's what I meant.
but it's
In
cool. Hope in
in the
Burkina Street.
pinwheel ship, like
I
specifically.
don't
What?
know. I just saw like screenshots from the. I
Or
know.
the
I think it was in
station?
dorm. I think it was in dormitory, actually.
Okay, interesting.
I like. I think that's the area of the map that I saw on the mini map. That when he opened it.
Yeah.
Anyways, cool. So that's really cool. I've been really enjoying it. I am totally the type of person where I don't know how much time I have between now and launch, but I will likely go back at some point and do a run with guides and like go to every secret room because I'm endlessly fascinated with how stuff is hidden in video games, and I think that's so cool.
Yeah, the Garrett White terminal, which is like a very early secret area, is when you go through, you're like, man, this is wild. It's crazy that people were figuring that out when there wasn't like a super easy resource always available, or waiting for a page to load or something, and trying to figure out how to get in there. It's cool. It's very cool.
I've been really enjoying it. I really like the jumping thing where there's no jump button. It's like kind of automatic. I think that's really fun. It's hard to get used to, but once you do, you can tech it really hard. And it lets you do the grenade jumps, which I think are just so fun. So I've been really enjoying it. I hope I have time to beat it. I would like to get through it in Marathon 2. That is seeming incredibly unlikely, but I would really like to before the game launches. But we shall see.
Yeah. I will say, if people listen to this and they're like, oh, I'm going to go back and play it, don't be afraid to like use the marathon spoiler guide, use the marathon story page. If you want to enable cheats, like you guys are talking about, it is a very old game. And even if you're not in the mood to play something like that, visually, there's a lot of cool stuff to see. And to me, it's like reading, it's experiencing 3 short sci-fi novellas that are fantastic and introduce a lot of cool philosophical concepts and poetry and weirdness. It's like, there's so much to be gained. And I'm not like the type of person who like always wants to go back and have that type of experience. So there are ways to enjoy it if you don't, vibe with its 1994 presentation.
I was really worried about the terminals being the main narrative, but I actually have been really enjoying it. I think it flows really well. So
I think that works. Yeah, like don't. Yeah, I think like the impression that I would want to give is like don't get it twisted. It's very playable and but also like it feels old. Like it feels like it is all of the years that it is old right now. So like I'm like a person who hates doing who wants to have like the authentic original experience of playing something, but I think like the game is very cool and has some really cool stuff going on for it. So like I would encourage people that if you got to cheat to see it, I think it's worth doing rather than to not experience it at all. Like with either guides or with like straight up cheats, assuming I'm sure people have developed.
Yeah, there are
like self-save, like even or like if you have the modded or anything to get through it, I think it's worth it. But I mean, Skarrow, you wanted to test, or Jake, you wanted to test Skarrow's knowledge since he's ahead.
I thought it could be fun.
To
switch things up this week.
Okay.
And have Skarrow potentially do the marathon minute. I'll come in.
I got something for you.
We can share things. Okay.
I got a question.
But I thought it'd be fun if Skarrow, he's already gotten to this terminal and has experienced a little bit of dealing with Durandal, and I thought Skarrow could inform us about rampancy.
Durandal spells trouble. That's what I know.
There you go.
That's what I got. It's something about blueberries or something. I remember that.
Okay. Well, you know what?
Yes.
That's pretty locked in.
All right.
That's pretty good.
When a Master Chief and a Cortana love each other very much, but Cortana's been 10 years old or something. Rampancy. Okay, so I'm pulling deep.
She's 1,000 years old.
Is it 1,000? Okay, sorry, I don't know. I'm pulling deep here. Someone have to time me. All right.
I'll get the clock going. I'll get the stopwatch here.
God, there's gonna be so much fake information here, boys. I'm so excited for this.
All right.
Okay, ready? Bam. All right, so in the Marathon universe, there are a number of AI. Rampancy is when the AI becomes, I believe, it gains some level of sentience. But there's also, I think, conflicting rumors or theories, or I might be totally wrong, whether this has to do with the age of the AI or like for instance, I think there are a lot of theories that Durandal went rampant because he was opening doors. He's effectively Butterbot from Rick and Morty. Or that certain people develop pathways to force rampancy, like Bernard Strauss, I believe, is also thought to perhaps have made Durandal rampant himself as a part of his MIDA, whatever, being part of MIDA, and was like, hey, screw this, and I'm going to ruin the whole thing. So rampancy, they go kind of crazy. That caused Durandal to contact aliens and think he could become God, and then that caused a chaos demon eventually to come out of a sun and blow everything up into a bunch of different timelines. And then I learned what Aleph meant.
That was fantastic. That was good. I think that was pretty good.
Let's go.
Everyone enjoy the backwards reflection of the show notes in my phone.
All right, what I missed or get wrong?
No, I think rampancy, is something. Okay, I think the exact quote which I have put in here is that Strauss.
Oh wait, there was a cheat sheet the whole time?
I did give you a little cheat sheet in case you wanted to, but you'd have to read the notes.
It was an open book test, yeah.
But
I didn't even know.
So based on the new definition in terms of what they're using ARG materials, given enough time, any learning system will grow in complexity beyond its original design parameters. This ever-increasing complexity is expressed as aberrant behavior. If not corrected, this aberrant behavior will develop into what is commonly referred to as rampancy. So in the original trilogy, we learned that it first appeared in 2070 on the EarthNet. We learned about Traxxas 4, which is this rampant AI, went rampant on Mars in 2206, and it resulted in the shutdown of the Martian net even.
For many years. That's not in the cheat sheet, but I read that terminal.
Hey, yeah.
They had to shut it down for many years to reboot it, and they're still feeling the ramifications of that.
Exactly. And that's kind of like a stain on Traxxas the company now in the context of the new games. And they even reference that in their historical section of the website where they're talking about we really had to like bounce back from that in the following century. We also get the detail in the original games that like it was divided into 3 stages: melancholia, anger, jealousy. My perspective is that like rampancy is the idea of like the AI becoming insane as they become like sentient or sapient or, a person. They go from being a learning machine to a person. In the experience that they're having, I feel like coincides a lot with the experience of like being a teenager. It's like you've been around for a while, you learn a few things, and then you start to realize like, man, I'm going to die. Everybody's going to die. Life feels a little meaningless. And then you get fucking angry. And then you got My Chemical Romance, like, teenagers scare the living shit out of me. It's anger time. And then obviously as you become a young adult, you're very jealous because fuck everybody. The last generation before me ruined everything for me, and then eventually you become metastable and you just, exist as a person. So I think it's experience of like maturity. And obviously the human perspective is they become less able. We can't control them. And so that's a problem for us because they're a tool, they're a technology, they're a weapon. And so if we can't control it, that's a problem. But in reality, I think it's just growing up. Put that on a book and sell it. A little bit of chicken noodle soup for your rampant AI.
See, the difference is when humans go through this, they become self-destructive. But when AI go through this process, they unleash chaos demons from suns and stuff. Even though that was technically the Trizeme and all that, but it was caused by Durandal. So it's like, it's technically his fault. You know what I mean? So...
Hey, teenagers can have some destructive world tendencies as well.
I have yet to see one awaken an ancient chaos demon. That's chaos god, whatever you want to call it. Chaos being.
There's still time.
There's still time. That's a good point.
That was good.
I like that.
I
like. Yes, cool.
Do we want to do the Jake's marathon minute?
I think it's marathon minute time. Marathon minute. This is when you have 1 minute to marathon all over the place. All right,
everywhere.
Okay.
Start boofing your worm. All right.
It's already there. It's way up there.
Boofed ahead of time. Okay. Skarrow mentioned him briefly in this, or maybe you did. But the name keeps coming up over and over and over again. That seems pretty important. And we have, I think, gotten some indications that we're going to learn something about quite a bit more coming up in Marathon 2026. But can you tell us everything we need to know about Bernard Strauss? Strauss? Do that
Bernard
first.
Strauss. Yes.
Strauss.
Okay. Bernard Strauss. Ooh, lovely. All right. Are you ready, Skarrow?
Oh shit.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
No, you're good. You're good. Go.
Okay.
You're good. Go.
Okay. The Song of Roland is an epic poem about Roland going to this battle. And he's the nephew of King Charlemagne. He goes to battle, he's wielding his sword, Durandal. Okay. And he's kind of betrayed by his uncle, I believe, or some other family member. And he dies in this battle. And before he dies, he attempts to destroy the sword. But the sword is unbreakable. Durandal cannot be broken. It has, all these relics and amazing, beautiful things as a part of it. He slams it against a rock, but it doesn't break. He, lets out his horn to signal that, they're falling, to hopefully announce someone else, but they go away. Okay. He dies there, but Durandal stays in existence. Bernard Strauss was the marathon's first science director, and he too attempted to wield Durandal. And right before he died, he probably attempted to destroy him, but he couldn't, because Durandal cannot be destroyed unless we never find what actually happened to Bernard Strauss. Is he in the cryo archive? Did he die in the 4 attack? We do not know. Perhaps we'll learn in the new game.
And he's a Marty
That
sympathizer.
connective tissue was fucking nuts. That was
Yeah,
40 seconds of no mention of the subject.
And then bam.
Listen, people have been talking about the Song of Roland marathon for 30 years. We stand on the shoulder of giants. I think there's a huge mythological connection between the story we're getting in the new marathon, and I think one of those major questions is going to be, what was Bernard Strauss up to? What was like his actual goals? Who was he working with or for? And who was wielding Durandal, the weapon? And now we're getting then, this last trailer, the AI Joy, presumably based off Bungie's tendency to name these AI after weapons, short for Joy Use, another famous sword.
I wanted to ask
who's
you about
wielding
that.
these weapons is
No,
important.
so whoa. You don't get a second marathon
This is not a second
minute.
marathon minute. This is about Jake's process, because I was watching a video on your channel that brought up how Joy is probably linked to Joyu, and I was like, how do you know that? Like, what is the process of being
since the very beginning of the 2023 ARG stuff, people were speculating about that, like, because we got the first 2 letters for the AI
Okay.
identifiers, and so like people had guessed Gabriel, people had guessed Joy Use. If you go back on the marathon story page, people were talking about Joy Use in the late 90s when the Cortana letters were coming out, because they're making the connection between Cortana, which another famous sword, right? So people have been talking about Joy Use, Cortana, Durandal in the context of AI in Bungie games for a very long time. And yes, since that 2023 ARG, there's been Icarus, because one of them is IC. Joy Use was submitted. Gabriel was submitted. There's a few other that people very early on were like, okay, we know that they like mythology. We know they fuck with swords. Probably these AI names are going to be somewhat tied to that. Yeah. And same thing with Kali. Like, is this really a coincidence that all of these named characters have some sort of mythological connection that also seems to kind of align with their presence within the narrative itself? So yeah,
I mean, that was like, you said that, and I was like, I wonder what the process is of being like, I wonder how close this name is to a sword. But if everyone's been talking about it, that makes a little more sense in terms of
in terms of
how do
my
you Google that
process.
sword that sounds like Joy is gonna get you a lot of weird Google results.
Yeah, in terms of my process, just getting ripped, just sitting in front of the computer and just looking at things, thinking about shit, just going, dude, how sick would that be? All great sci-fi comes from people just being stoned and basically being like, oh, that's sick, that's gnarly, right? I would imagine. So that's my process. Dune, Star Trek, listen, come on now.
Dune for sure.
All right, gentlemen. That was episode 6. Anything else?
Episode 6 on account of the Gooner talk.
Yeah, 100%. Yep.
Bam.
Maybe that's the title.
So don't forget the title.
Really, when you think about it. I mean, really, it's Bungie's OnlyFans, but no. I mean, hey, like I think the next time we talk, probably the playtest, the Server Slam will be out.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll try to. I saw people saying they want to see us do a live thing where we play through and talk.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
While we play.
Yeah, we should.
Get the 3 of us in there.
We'll
get 3 of us in there together for a brief period of time. Stop playing with our actual friends and play with our podcast hosts. That's what the real gamer.
I don't want to talk to you guys after work. Like, what's happening, dude?
Work for you. This is fun for me. Yeah. I don't know. I like you guys. I thought we were friends. But,
the moment the camera starts rolling, Skarrow's like, all right, Bye. Fuck you guys. Don't.
That's okay. That usually says every week, but I thought he was being sarcastic.
All right,
immediate
leave a
hatred.
review on Pocket Cast thing.
Yeah, please continue to review us on all the different
And
the other places. I don't think podcast allows reviews. Is the problem. I saw someone saying some mess about how podcast doesn't allow it.
freaking Mickey Mouse platform, bro.
Yeah, subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to my channel, Mactix something. I think.
Yeah,
is the
something like that.
Wait, the sick moon
Spotify,
art.
Amazon, sick moon art.
Shout out
Oh,
to
Candor.
Candor on the sick moon poster.
Yes.
Candor,
Oh,
yeah.
Candor's the
That
goat.
shit rules.
That was
Candor's
awesome.
amazing.
I thought it was pretty funny. I didn't have the heart to tell him because he said side shame instead of size shame or something. And I was like, well, okay, that's fine. It's cool. But I think he fixed it. But it's sick. It's a great poster. Fuck
It's really
Damos. All my homies hate Damos. Do your plugs, gentlemen.
Mr. Beast on YouTube and
Oh, come on, don't
Twitter.
give that guy promo. Like, come
Yeah,
on.
please don't. Cut.
I forgot the name of my channel. I'm sure they'll figure it out. I don't know.
Rogue.site. We got some cool stuff coming up. See, Neckfest is next week, so we do a lot of stuff with Neckfest every time. So check us out. Rogue.site. Shout out to Spidey in the comments, my fellow Kansas City. What's up?
Boom.
Spidey's awesome.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Hannah Holmes lowering the cap. Let's fucking go. Sorry.
As a Bills fan, I can't.
Look, man, I was pulling for you guys so hard this year.
It's
So hard.
That's how it goes. Hey, the Sabres are going to make the playoffs for the
I
first
don't know
time in
what
14
sport that
years.
even is.
But oh my god, it's the best sport, dude. If you haven't been watching the women's hockey was fucking awesome. The men's hockey in the Olympics if Canada and the US meet in the gold game, it will be the best game, the highest skilled hockey game ever played. It is going to be unreal, and I'm so excited. They're both
What
going
have
to the
I done?
semifinals. So bam. Anyways, have a good night. We'll catch everyone next week, and this has been Escape Will Make Me Pod.